This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. We've got an update now. The Manhattan DA is turning over materials to Donald Trump now that the protective order is in place by Judge Juan Merchan in the 34-count felony indictment of Donald Trump related to the Stormy Daniels hush money cover-up and a trial that he's facing in March of 2024. Now it's time. Now that the protective order is in place, now that the judge required earlier this week Donald Trump to beam in by video from Mar-a-Lago, from his fake West Wing Oval Office set with two flags behind him, and read him the riot act, or at least the protective order conditions about what he can and can't talk about related to discovery, which means the documents, the information, the evidence, the audio clips, the tape recordings, the whatever the government has that it has to turn over as part of its requirement as the prosecutor to turn over to the defense all evidence early in the case. It's usually called Brady material. Anything that's exculpatory that could help the defense, anything that's inculpatory that goes to the criminal intent or the criminal case, all has to be turned over. In our system of justice, notwithstanding what Donald Trump and his minions tweet about, this is how it works. All the discovery, none of it's sandbagged, none of it's a surprise, all has to be turned over early in the case and as it's developed to the defense. But before they did that, Manhattan DA said, we need a protective order. Judge gave him one. Now we have today a new filing. We have a required automatic discovery form generated by the Manhattan DA's office that has been filed, which lists broadly all of the evidence that they have against Donald Trump. And in a section related to electronic evidence, which usually means recordings that they have listed at least one recording that they have that they think is inculpatory. It tends to prove the crime against Donald Trump and another unnamed witness, along with another section in that same form which leads the prosecution to tell the defense that there are other recordings that will also be produced in time on a rolling basis to them for the case. Now, who's the witness? Let's connect the dots. And we have the added benefit that on this very same network, Michael Cohen frequently talks about his case, his federal case, the case against Donald Trump, and his involvement as a witness in this very case. We know from Michael and from other reporting that at least in 2018, Michael Cohen turned over dozens and dozens of recordings to the federal prosecutors. Now, they didn't use them. That's when Bill Barr and Donald Trump were in charge of the Department of Justice, and you know what happened there. But those 34 or so recordings we know now have been turned over to the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg's office, who is using them, is willing to use them. And so if we don't have to speculate, I mean, it's a bit of speculation, but it's based on hard fact and good reporting. So let's play now the clip of what could be likely at least one of the audio recordings between Michael Cohen, then the in-house lawyer and consigliere and chief fixer for all things Donald Trump related to his sexual affairs and misconduct behind his wife's back while he was candidate Trump and otherwise, and Donald Trump himself talking about the actual payoff to Stormy Daniels through her attorney. Let's play it now.
What's up, Mike?
Great poll, by the way. Seen it. Great poll.
Making progress.
Big time.
And you guys are good guy.
Oh, Pastor Scott?
No, Pastor Scott. What's happening?
Oh, no.
Can we use him anymore?
Oh, yeah. 100. No, you're talking about Mark Burns. We've told him to.
Well, I don't mean that. Mark Burns. Can we use him?
No.
Richard Lefrak, I'm sorry, Richard Lefrak just called. He just had me have a chance. He had an idea for you.
Okay. So we got served from the New York Times. I told you this regarding to unseal the divorce papers with Ivana. We're fighting it. Kasowitz is going to
never be able to get that done.
Never. Kasowitz doesn't. They'll ever be able. They don't have a.
Give me your code, please.
They don't have a legitimate purpose.
And you have a woman that doesn't want him. I see.
Correct.
So you've been handling.
Yes, and it's all.
It's been going on for a while.
For about 2-3 weeks now.
All you have to do is delay it for.
Even after that, it's not going to ever be opened. There's no purpose for it. Told you about Charleston. I need to open up a company for the transfer of all of that info regarding our friend David, so that I'm going to do that right away. I've actually come up and I've spoken to Alan Weisselberg about how to set the whole thing up with
So what are we going to pay?
funding, yes. And it's all the
Yeah,
stuff,
thinking about that.
all the stuff, because, you never know where that company, you never know where he's going to be.
Gets it by.
Correct. So I'm all over that. And I spoke to Alan about it when it comes time for the financing, which will be,
Listen, what financing?
we'll have to pay you. So
Don't pay for cash.
no. I got, no.
Okay, you heard it. There's no other way to interpret that as Donald Trump acknowledging that he's a participant in the conspiracy to pay off Stormy Daniels, the hush money, that it be done in cash, okay? That it be done in a way that's not traceable. Even Michael Cohen thinks certain aspects of Donald Trump on that tape are beyond the pale. And he says, no, we can't do it that way. We got to do it this way. But that just shows complicity. That just shows criminal intent by Donald Trump. These are the types of audio tapes that Michael Cohen was recording at the time against his then boss, Donald Trump, now in the hands of the state prosecutors. And so while we won't get the actual listing yet of audio tape from this date and that date, they did give the range of dates in their disclosure. And those range of dates do match up with Michael Cohen's recordings in and around that time about Stormy Daniels and the payment to Stormy Daniels. So, deductive reasoning, this is likely the tape, the recording that the government has. Now, Donald Trump's known about these recordings. Michael Cohen's talked about them at length. They've been all over. We have a clip of it. We're playing it here on My Hot Take. But this just shows you the amount of evidence that the state prosecutors, Manhattan DA, have against Donald Trump and are willing to use and will use against him in the Stormy Daniels 34-count indictment in front of Judge Merchan going to trial. We're going to be reporting on more disclosures. The media is looking for, as part of Freedom of Information Act requirements, to get as much of this on the public docket as possible so that we can report on it. We have our own inside track with Michael Cohen, a part of the Midas Touch Network, and we get information there as well. We bring it together and tie it together on hot takes just like this one, where I sit at the intersection of U.S. politics and law and interpret for you based on my experience of over 30 years as a trial lawyer, federal and state, trying cases just like this one. I bring it to you here only on the Midas Touch Network. If you like this YouTube and this information that you're getting so that you can make your own interpretations and make your own judgments, to give me a thumbs up on this YouTube. Give me a comment. I've been known to read them and respond to them. And you can follow what I do as well during the week on a curated show we do of all the top legal and politically charged cases on Wednesdays and Saturdays on the Midas Touch Network. It's called Legal AF. I'm one of the anchors, founders of the show. And if you like that, come watch us on Wednesdays and Saturdays, either on YouTube and or every place you get your podcast. You can find Legal AF. And if you like what I'm doing personally, you can follow me on all things social media at MS Popok. This is Michael Popok reporting.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at Midas Touch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.